Listen, this is not an ordinary message. This is the breaking of heaven's silence. The fact that these words have reached your ears right now is not coincidence. It is a summons, a divine appointment. You were called into this moment. Do you know why your chest has felt restless in the dark hours of the night? Why you've been waking at strange times, heart heavy as if carrying a weight too great to bear? Why your house has felt filled with a silence that screams louder than any sound? These were not random experiences. They were signals. You were being prepared. For weeks, chosen ones across the world have been stirring at the same hours, wide awake when they should be asleep, feeling the same electricity in the air, the same invisible burden pressing down. Some thought it was stress. Some thought it was age. Some thought it was just another sleepless night. But heaven was whispering, "Get ready." You thought you were alone in this. You are not. You are part of a remnant, hand-picked and hidden, the ones who have been tested in fire, shaped in tears, and trained in silence. And yes, you questioned again and again, "God, why the silence? Why no answer? Why do my prayers seem to vanish into the void?" You thought heaven had abandoned you. But hear me clearly. Your silence was not punishment. It was preparation. Think of Jericho. For 6 days, Israel marched around impossible walls in silence. No attack, no noise, just obedience. And on the 7th day, at the sound of one shout, those massive walls crumbled. It wasn't the noise that won the victory. It was the obedience in silence. The silence in your own life, those empty chairs, the phone that doesn't ring, the tears soaked into pillows night after night. Those were not abandonment. They were the training ground for your breakthrough shout. You thought you were forgotten. You thought heaven had turned its back. But the truth is this: you have been the arrow, pulled further and further back in heaven's bow. And the further an arrow is pulled back, the greater the distance and force with which it flies. Now here you are, standing on the threshold of a moment that is not like the others. Heaven has opened your file. Heaven is calling your name. And there is only one question: are you ready? The enemy has tried everything to stop you from getting here. When you prayed, exhaustion came suddenly. When you tried to worship, doubts crept in and whispered, "You are forgotten." When you took a step toward faith, distractions pulled you back. It was never random. It was warfare, because hell knows what you're about to step into. Listen closely. God does not send urgent warnings to those who are comfortable. He sends them to those who have walked through fire and did not bow, to those who carried unbearable weight and somehow kept breathing, to those who lost everything but still whispered, "I believe." And if your spirit is trembling right now, if something deep inside you feels as though it's waking up after years of sleep, it's because this message is yours. This is your confirmation. How many nights have you sat in the chair where your loved one once sat, wondering if heaven even remembers your address? How many mornings have you awakened to silence so heavy it felt like the walls themselves were pressing in, asking yourself if your voice still matters to God? How long have you been carrying the weight of unanswered prayers, mistaking silence for abandonment? You need to understand this. Your silence was never abandonment. It was positioning. Elijah discovered this when he stood alone in a cave after fire fell from heaven. The earthquake came, the wind came, the fire came, but God was not in them. Then came a whisper, a still small voice. That was the presence of the Almighty. That whisper is where the real power lives. Your silence has been your seminary. While others lived easy lives, you were enrolled in heaven's school of trust. Every lonely evening taught you how to rely on God's presence instead of human company. Every unanswered prayer refined your faith like fire refining gold. Every secret tear became liquid intercession, rising before the throne. You are not a forgotten relic of a past move of God. You are a loaded weapon. And the further you've been pulled back, the greater the release will be when heaven lets go. But here is the tragedy. Some will miss this moment because they've accepted the silence as permanent. They've believed the lie that their season is over, that their impact has expired. They see the silence as an address instead of recognizing it as a launching pad. Don't let that be you. If you can recognize that the silence was training, not punishment, then you are ready. Because when the silence breaks, the sound will not be small. It will shake heaven and earth. Every heartbreak you carried, every sleepless night, every door slammed shut, it all led here. This is your dividing line, the moment where yesterday's pain separates from tomorrow's promise. This is your Red Sea crossing, your Jordan River moment, your burning bush encounter disguised as an ordinary day. Most people will sleep through it. They'll dismiss the pounding in their chest as nothing more than nerves. They'll explain away the restlessness as something natural. They'll reduce the divine summons to another piece of content on a screen. But not you. You know this is different. You can feel it. For too long, you've wandered in circles, asking the same questions, carrying the same burdens, wondering if breakthrough would ever come. But now you are standing on the edge. You can cross over, or you can stay another 40 years in the same desert. The choice is yours. This is not another ordinary day. This is the moment that shifts your season forever. This is your invitation to step out of limitation and into possibility. Declare it now, out loud, wherever you are. I choose alignment. I choose readiness. I will not miss my moment. Because what happens next will determine whether your story becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness or a warning about missed opportunities. You've carried weight that would have crushed ordinary souls. You've buried dreams you thought would never rise again. You've stood at gravesides and wondered why heaven took the one you loved most and left you standing in the silence. You've given everything for others, sacrificed until nothing was left, and then watched as those same people treated you like you didn't matter. And yet, you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still listening. That means something. That means everything. Do you understand the miracle of your survival? Hell threw storms at you that should have sunk you years ago. Loss that should have broken your spirit. Loneliness that should have swallowed you whole. Pain that should have left you numb and cold. But you endured. You bent, but you did not break. You staggered, but you kept moving. You wept, but you still whispered, I will rise. And heaven has recorded every moment of it. Every tear you thought vanished into your pillow was caught in a vial before the throne. Every sigh in the middle of the night was heard by the one who never sleeps. Every cry of, why me, was not ignored, but written into the script of your destiny. The enemy has whispered the same lie again and again. You're too old. You're too weak. You've missed your chance. Your purpose is gone. That voice is not truth. That is the hiss of a defeated serpent terrified of what you're about to step into. Because the truth is this: you are not finished. You are being unveiled. You are not expired. You are activated. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. Moses wasn't a young man when his calling exploded into fire. He was 80 when the bush burned and heaven thundered his name. Sarah was 90 when she carried the impossible in her womb. Abraham was 100 when the promise finally arrived. Age was not their limitation. It was their qualification. And so it is with you. The gray in your hair is not a sign of decline. It is a crown of wisdom. The wrinkles on your face are not proof of decay. They are evidence that you have survived what others could not. Every scar on your soul is a medal of honor. You are battle-tested, and heaven trusts only the battle-tested with the heaviest assignments. This is why your nights have been restless. This is why your spirit has felt heavy. You've mistaken it for anxiety, but in reality, it was heaven shaking you awake. Those 3 a.m. awakenings were not insomnia. They were appointments. Divine alarms ringing in the silence, preparing you for what comes next. Do you remember Daniel? For 21 days he prayed, and heaven seemed silent. Not one word, not one sign. But the truth was revealed later. From the very first day, his prayer was heard. The silence was not absence, it was war. Angels and demons locked in combat over one man's destiny. And so it has been with you. Every silent evening you thought God forgot you. Battles were raging in the unseen. Every day you felt invisible, heaven was positioning you like a chess piece for checkmate. Every moment you believed you were alone, you were actually surrounded by hosts of angels. Hell trembles when a chosen one sits in silence with God. Do you understand that? It's not the loud prayers that terrify darkness. It's the quiet surrender. It's those moments when you sit in an empty room and whisper, "I still believe," that shake the foundations of hell. Because silence with God conceives miracles. Silence with God births destinies. Silence with God turns the impossible into the inevitable. And that is why the enemy has fought so hard to keep you from recognizing the truth. He wants you to see your silence as abandonment instead of preparation. He wants you to mistake delay for denial. He wants you to settle into hopelessness instead of rising into destiny. But not anymore. Not now. Not after this moment. This is your unveiling. This is the moment heaven takes the cover off everything you thought was wasted and shows you it was training. The pain you carried was never random. It was purposeful. The betrayal you endured was never meaningless. It was refining. The loneliness you walked through was never punishment. It was separation, pulling you out from distractions so you could hear the whisper when it finally came. Look at your life. Look at the storms, the losses, the nights you thought would kill you. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still reaching for God. You know what that means. It means you are unstoppable. It means you are unshakable. It means you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. The very fact that you survived what others did not proves that heaven has work for you that no one else can do. You carry authority that cannot be taught in books, cannot be given by mentors, cannot be faked by appearance. It is the authority of someone who has walked through fire and come out refined. The authority of someone who knows what it means to lose everything and still trust. The authority of someone who has nothing left to prove, nothing left to fear, nothing left to lose. Do you realize how powerful that makes you? A person with nothing left to lose cannot be manipulated, cannot be bought, cannot be broken. You are that person now. You are free in ways you never were before. And heaven is about to use that freedom to turn your pain into purpose, your silence into a shout, your tears into triumph. Lift your head right now. Even if your body feels weak, even if your heart feels heavy, lift your head. Look around the empty room you're in and declare, "I survived, I am ready, I will not miss my moment." Say it out loud. Let the sound echo. Let your walls hear it. Let hell hear it. Let heaven record it. You survived for this. You endured for this. You were chosen for this. And listen carefully. Survival was never the goal. Survival was only the beginning. You were not kept alive just to endure. You were preserved to ignite. The greatest fire of your life has not burned yet. The loudest shout of your destiny has not been released yet. The greatest chapter of your story has not been written yet. This is the threshold. This is the line in sand. What you step into now will not only change your remaining years, it will change the generations that come after you. Because your obedience today, your decision in this moment, will ripple down your bloodline. Your yes now will break curses that have lived in your family for centuries. Your faith today will unlock doors for your children and your children's children. Your surrender now will become the foundation of someone else's freedom. You are not here by accident. You were summoned. You were chosen. And the silence you've endured has only been the prelude to the sound that is coming. You've waited so long for this moment that at times you stopped believing it would ever arrive. You've sat through seasons where the only sound in your life was the echo of your own disappointment. You've watched other people step into blessings, into opportunities, into answered prayers while you remained in silence, wondering why your name was never called. You told yourself, maybe I was overlooked, maybe I was forgotten, maybe what I hoped for was never meant for me. But listen carefully. Nothing in your life has been overlooked. Nothing has been wasted. The time you thought you lost has been secretly invested. Every season of delay has been storing up interest. What looked like wasted years are about to become multiplied years. The things you thought had passed you by are not gone. They are returning with increase. Can you feel it? That pull in your spirit that doesn't have language yet? That trembling in your chest that feels like both fear and hope at the same time? That is heaven's announcement that your waiting room is transforming into a birthing room. The contractions have already begun. The pressure you've been under was not meant to crush you. It was meant to push something out of you that could not be born any other way. For too long, you measured your life by what you lost, the people who left, the doors that closed, the dreams that died. But heaven never measured you by what you lost. Heaven has always measured you by what you carried. And what you carry is about to be revealed. You carry resilience that others only read about in books. You carry wisdom forged in pain. You carry faith that survived storms meant to drown you. You carry authority that was carved into your bones through struggle. This is why you feel heavier than before. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're pregnant with destiny. A child in the womb grows heavier as the day of delivery draws near. The closer the due date, the stronger the contractions. That's why you've been restless. That's why you've been unsettled. Because you are closer than you've ever been. And here is the truth. What is coming out of you is not just for you. The blessing that is breaking forth through your life will overflow to others. The oil that drips from your scars will heal wounds you've never seen. The words you speak after this breakthrough will carry weight you never imagined. Your testimony will become someone else's survival manual. But for that to happen, you cannot step back now. You cannot give up when you are this close. This is the hour where many turn away because the pressure feels unbearable. Don't you dare. The moment you are tempted to quit is usually the moment before everything shifts. Close your eyes right now and imagine it. The ground beneath you beginning to tremble. The air around you crackling with energy. The walls that stood in front of you for decades starting to shiver, to fracture, to give way. What you thought was unmovable is shaking. What you thought was permanent is dissolving. What you thought was impossible is bowing. You are not approaching breakthrough. You are standing in it. And hear me. When it comes, it won't trickle. It will flood. It won't whisper. It will roar. The blessing you are about to witness will not fit neatly into your expectations. It will overwhelm you. It will be pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You will say, "How could this happen so fast? How could everything shift overnight?" And heaven will answer, "Because the time was appointed. Because the silence has ended. Because now was the moment written before time began." Do you understand how sacred this is? Angels have been dispatched for this very hour. Hosts of heaven have been aligned for this exact season. Generations before you prayed for this and never saw it. But you will see it. You will taste it. You will walk in it. The legacy of those who came before you will find fulfillment through your obedience now. This is why hell has fought you so viciously. The battles were never just about you. They were about what you would carry forward. The enemy knew that if you ever crossed this threshold, if you ever truly awakened, nothing in your bloodline would remain the same. Patterns of brokenness would end. Cycles of defeat would shatter. Chains that held your family for decades would melt. And that terrified him. But look around. Do you see the chains still holding? No, they are snapping even now. Do you feel the heaviness you carried for years? It is lifting in this very moment. That sickness in your body is losing its grip. That weight in your mind is evaporating. That despair in your soul is cracking open into hope. You are walking into freedom right now. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Take a deep breath. Inhale it, as if you're breathing for the first time. Can you feel it? The atmosphere around you has shifted. The room you're in may look the same, but it isn't. You are not in the same place anymore. You've crossed over. The wilderness is behind you. The river is parting before you. The land of promise is beneath your feet. You are standing on holy ground. Not because the floor beneath you changed, but because your awareness of heaven's presence did. Look at your hands. These are not ordinary hands. They carry power to heal, to build, to bless. Listen to your heartbeat. This is not an ordinary rhythm. It is the drumbeat of destiny echoing through your chest. Look into the mirror. This is not a survivor staring back at you. It is a warrior, a pioneer, a chosen one ignited by fire. Do not shrink back now. Do not minimize what heaven is doing. Do not reduce this to coincidence or imagination. This is real. This is sacred. This is your moment. The world may not notice yet, but heaven does. And soon, the world will have no choice but to see the evidence of what has been birthed in silence. Lift your voice now. Even if it trembles, even if it cracks, even if tears stream down your face, lift it. Declare, "I receive it. I step into it. I embrace it." Let the sound rise until it feels like it's shaking the walls around you. Because in this very act, you are aligning heaven and earth with your agreement. You are saying yes to what was already written about you before the foundation of the world.